Hi, everyone, and good evening to Parents Engaging Parents, a beloved community check in. My name is Erica Beverett, and I am actually here in the office of Parents Engaging Parents, checking in with you tonight. So, tonight we do have Victoria Lodato, who's here to share with us my plate, and we're going to talk about portions, portions, portions. She along with her team that has been here in the past, engaging us from the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, who is sponsoring the show for this evening and for the coming weeks on food lessons and how we can better take care of our bodies with nourishment of food. So, with that, I am going to bring our Alterius Frazier up onto the screen just to say a quick hello and to check in with us today. So, hello, Mr. Frazier. How are you today? Actually, you are muted.
How's
There-
everything?
Good, 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 good. So, I know that we have a couple of events that are going to be coming up in the coming weeks. So, if you could, I know that there's one major one that's coming into play. So, would you like to share that with us?
Wow, there's so many. I know that we're definitely excited for the Young Harlem stage play that we're going to be presenting with the support and the leadership of MKW Ministry as we work with them in 2018 and put on a stage play 1968, the year the world changed forever. And it was an amazing event, beautiful engagement, and we want to bring that type of energy back. So we're going to work with our partners again. Thank you to Pastor Wilson, who works diligently with his team and a large cast of actors, young and seasoned, and bringing that off Broadway energy. And I think on forward wanting to partner with Parents Engaging Parents as we continue to find ways to engage the community in the various ways of engagement, through social engagement, our workshops and trainings of engagement, and then just, getting into the action of making sure our voice is heard and respected as parents and community leaders. So that's definitely one of the opportunities we're going to be doing in next month, excuse me, August 20th, actually, August 20th, Saturday. And next month is also the month that we'll be engaging our communities across New Jersey with backpacks and school supplies. So be on the lookout for that campaign running through New Jersey as we do yearly. And thank you to all the partners that continue to support us in that initiative. So definitely the backpacks and school supplies will be definitely moving out next month. Definitely contact yourself. Everybody know to contact you, Erica, to really make sure that everything is flowing and moving across the state as we continue to partner. So I know those are two of the ones that we're really pushing on, and we need your support. Let's be very clear that as we continue to bring these energies are definitely not ones that are always given to us with no cost, and we expect that obviously because this is definitely not free labor in so many different aspects. It's definitely volunteer and time and energy. We have to respect gas prices, so
Mm,
definitely, want to make sure that we understand that there's always a ask or a understanding of hitting that donation button at www.pepnj.org. That's www.pepnj.org, where once again, once we take these donations and we're able to do these multiple facets of engagement and working with partners like Snap New Jersey and Community Food Bank as we partner to continue to outreach and engage our community. So thank you for having me and always able to share the work that we're doing across the state.
yeah, for sure. And actually, I know one event is going to be coming up, and they're actually nationwide, and that's the National Night Out, where where the community gets together with police, and usually the police host that national night out, a night of a caring event, and a night for enjoyment for the community. And I know that we, Parents Engaging Parents, will be out with East Orange PD. And I wanted to say a shout out to Lieutenant Johnson, who's their community policing event coordinator there. And she just definitely invited us out. So, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be walking around and engaging the community there, registering everyone for book bags and school supplies. And then we'll be also partnering with another event, a community resources event in East Orange on August 18th, where we will be distributing those that did register for those school supplies at the National Night Out. So there's going to be a few things going on. I know that our other partner out in Jersey City, Angela Cares, she's going to be having her giveaway as well on August 27th for our Jersey City community. And Bridgeton's going to be having their giveaway as well on September 3rd with the Bridgeton Family Success Center and Miss May. Rock of Life with Pastor Paul out in Newark will also be on September 3rd. So, yes, we have a lot of events coming up, and probably a few more will be added as the weeks come along.
And also look out for the tomorrow. I just got the confirmation officially. We'll be in Patterson with Clearwater Action, environmental justice organization, working diligently to make sure that our airs and our community is continuously freed of these type of pollutions. And we're going to have an announcement with the mayor in Patterson, a press release, a press event, a kickoff of a lead replacement program. So once again, just always wants to make sure parents and community leaders and just families know that things are going on. And obviously, we don't know every last thing that's going on, but as long as we continue to network and engage, we can continue to share and outreach to each other. And partners like, Snap Ed is an example of those relationships and those outreaches.
Yeah, for sure. So with that, we're gonna bring on, actually, yeah, we're gonna bring on Victoria and just engage her for a little bit before we get started. Hi, Victoria. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing fantastic and hope everyone is also doing well.
Great. And if you can, just share where you're from and who you're with.
Of course. So, as Erica mentioned, my name is Victoria Lodato. I'm a senior nutrition educator working with New Jersey SNAP Education at the Community Food Bank of New Jersey.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us. And today you're going to be engaging us on My Plate. So I know that I actually, America's infamous for overeating, right? We have probably one of the highest obesity, um, percentages probably throughout the world because our portions are so big. So I'm definitely interested in hearing your engagement on My Plate that you have with us today.
Of course. Would you like for me to go ahead and get started
Sure,
presenting the slides?
of course.
Alrighty, perfect. So, welcome everyone to today's lesson on My Plate with our Just Say Yes curriculum. Before we always get started, we do like to say that we are a part of the USDA civil rights regulations and policies with our End Justice for All poster, stating that we do not discriminate based on race, color, national origin, sex, religion, disability, age, political beliefs, etc. And with all our lessons, we always like to have a little engagement from our community that is out there virtually. And the question that I have for everyone today is, what are some of the things that you have done recently to stay healthy?
Ooh, I can name all the horrible things that I didn't do to stay healthy. But I would say just trying to incorporate more vegetables in my diet.
That is a wonderful goal to have. I don't know if anyone remembers last week, one of the recommendations that I made was to try to have at least two vegetables with dinner. That's something I've been trying to incorporate for the past couple of months, making sure that I have all different kinds of veggies with my meals. Ooh, I see that Dion Williams exercises. That is fantastic. We'll actually get into physical activity a little later in our presentation today, too, and why it's important for us.
Hmm. Let's see.
Dion also drinks lots of water. Yes, very important to make sure that we're staying hydrated, especially in this heat wave that we're facing. But just generally, it is recommended that we have at least 8 ounces, 8 cups or 8 ounces of water each and every day. One way that I like to do that is I have my nice big cup that I refill at least 4 to 5 times a day, knowing that I'll reach my goal that way. Ooh, someone in our YouTube world has been tracking their calories, and that's something that's fantastic for yourself. In order to know what calorie diet you should be trying to consume, is we recommend that you speak to your physician because you have to keep in mind any illnesses or ailments that your body could be facing. So we want to make sure that we're hitting that target mark.
Yeah.
Has anyone done anything differently other than water, exercise, um,
The water.
adding more vegetables, fruit? They're all pretty basically the same thing that we all try to do in order to live a healthier lifestyle.
Hmm. Yes.
Less red meat. Ooh, that one's different. Red meat, let's not
Mm.
forget that red meat is also a fantastic source for us. We'll actually touch base on our proteins a little later, but it's definitely important to try and vary those proteins and consume a lot more lean meats like our poultry or chicken. Fish is definitely very important for our diets as well. Alrighty, everyone. Well, thank you all for those who are participating virtually. I always love to hear different ways that we can become healthier. But let's get started into our conversation on my plate. So, has anyone ever seen this image before?
Hmm. I would say, as a Start teacher, I've definitely seen my plate.
Hmm. Maybe you've seen it when you've gone to your children's cafeteria for school. During in the gym, it might be displayed as well. But it's actually just a remake of that food pyramid from when we were all younger, and it actually started off in with the Obama administration. Michelle Obama actually looked at the pyramid and worked with the team and said that we don't really eat off of a pyramid. We don't know what this pyramid is supposed to look like, what we're supposed to be having on our plate, which is where they came up with the idea of actually making it a plate. So it's a new way to make sure you're making those healthy choices and trying to eat all of those portions that we need to. And during this presentation, we'll take a deeper dive into all portions of my plate. So before we actually get started, I always like to just review them. As you can see, we have fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. And there's two other portions that aren't included, which includes our fats and sugars, as well as our physical activity. And we'll also touch base on those today too. So to get started, we have our fruits. And for our fruits, let me backtrack just a little bit more before I forget as well.
Mhm.
With my plate, it is recommended that we try to eat from it each and every meal. So we recommend that we have at least 3 meals a day. breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But we also try to recommend at least having one or two snacks that also replicate our My Plate as well, or at least trying to consume different portions of that My Plate that we weren't able to get at other times during the day. So for our fruits, it is recommended that we try to get 2 cups of fruit each and every day. We did talk about this a little bit last week um, during our presentation, and various things count as a serving. So a serving could be different portions, but we do recommend that you try at least all forms of your fruits and vegetables. So that could be fresh, dried, frozen, or canned. When we're having canned, we always recommend that your fruits are canned in water or 100% juice. And when selecting any type of fruit juices, we always recommend 100% fruit juice where it doesn't have any added sugar, and to limit your juice portions to at least 4 to 6 ounces, and then you can dilute it with water. So, what really counts as a serving? As you can see here, we do have a few different options. One large banana can count as a serving, a half a cup of fruit juice, like we mentioned before, with that 4 to 6 ounces. 8 ounces is actually equal to a cup, so 4 ounces is equal to half a cup. Half of a medium grapefruit, half of a large peach, 2 large plums, half a cup of raisins, an apple or an orange, half a cup of fruit cocktail, a medium bunch of grapes, which is about maybe like 50, and then half a cup of strawberry. So if you don't necessarily have a measuring cup, there's just some different ways in order to be able to help you guys measure that out. Next, we'll move on to our vegetables. And again, we did discuss this a little bit last week, but just to go over it again, it is recommended that we try to get at least 2.5 cups to 3 cups every day. And your vegetables can come in many different varieties again. They can be raw, cooked, fresh, frozen, canned, or dried. However, if you are using those canned vegetables, we always recommend to drain and rinse before utilizing, as well as we recommend low sodium or no salt added vegetables. And as you can see, there's many different forms of what can count as a serving: a cup of leafy vegetables, a half a cup of any type of cooked vegetables such as green beans, broccoli, cauliflower, or corn, one medium starchy vegetable, half a cup of vegetable juice. Again, we do recommend those 4 to 6 ounces, and 100% fruit or vegetable juice. And then any cup of raw vegetables, carrot, celery, cucumber, whichever you would prefer to munch on. That is one of those amazing snacks. Alrighty. And on to our next portion of My Plate, we do have our grains. And it is recommended that with each meal, we try to consume at least 6 ounces every day. And there's two different kinds of grains that we could be consuming. There is refined grains that have been milled and they're just lacking a few different vitamins and nutrients that we could use. And it gives the grain a finer texture and improves their shelf life, but also removes a lot of those vitamins and minerals, like we talked about, that fiber, iron, and B vitamins, which is why we always try to recommend at least making half of your grains whole grains. Now, in order to count as a serving, it could be one slice of bread, a cup of cereal, 3 cups of popcorn. Popcorn is actually one of the healthiest snacks that you can eat, as long as you're not adding any extra butter, flavorings, etc. to it. And popcorn is one of those. Corn ties in the line between being a grain as well as being a vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
You could also have 5 crackers, a half a cup of rice or pasta. My favorite. Can never go without some pasta. And you can even have an 8-inch tortilla count as a serving. Next, we have our proteins, and I know I mentioned we talked about removing red meat from our diets, but it's very important to try to at least incorporate it every so often, just because we do need a bit of that iron that can be found in the red meat. However, we always recommend to choose lean meats and poultry to trim or drain any fat from the meat and remove the skin from poultry, and aim to eat at least seafood twice a week, but also to keep in mind that we did just discuss a lot of animal proteins, but there's also many different plant-based proteins as well, such as beans, peas, seeds, and nuts. One thing that I forgot to mention before moving forward was that it is recommended that with each meal we try to have at least 5.5 ounces. So what really counts as a serving? You could have 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Peanut butter is a fantastic option for your protein. Half a cup, a fourth cup of beans, 3/4 cup of any peas or lentils. I'm sorry, that's a fourth cup. Excuse me. I'm not really able to read the slide as well as I thought. You can have an ounce of meat, and half an ounce of nuts or seeds, a half an ounce of poultry. You can have a fourth cup of tofu or any soy products. Eggs actually count as another great source of protein. So you can have one large egg, or even any 1 ounce for fish or any type of seafood. And there's very many different options that we can find on land and sea. And last but not least, on our wonderful little my plate diagram is dairy. And it is recommended to get 3 cups of dairy every day. And we mainly want to incorporate dairy into our diets because it has high amounts of calcium and vitamin D, and we always recommend to try to choose skim or any low-fat dairy products because the purpose of any type of fat in our dairy products is to help brain growth, which is really only necessary for any type of child under the age of 2. For us, as we move forward in life, it's not really necessary for us to consume that high amount of fat.
Mm.
So, what really, this is where some confusion actually comes in. The way that a product is actually described as dairy is dependent on the amount of calcium that can be found in that product. So, for example, um, ooh, I just had the example in my head and now it's gone. For example, sour cream is
Mm.
not actually a part of the dairy group because it does not have any calcium in it, just like butter or even and cream cheese as well. They are not
Oh.
a part of that dairy group. However, for anyone who is lactose intolerant, there are lactose intolerant or vegan. There's many different plant-based um, dairy products that you can also consume as well. What they do is they just take calcium and add it into the almond milk, soy milk, whichever you tend to prefer. So reviewing that serving size for our dairy is you can have a half cup of shredded cheese, a cup of milk, 1.5 ounces of a block of cheese, 2 slices of cheese, and even a cup of yogurt. And yogurt is one of those great options for yourself to incorporate more dairy into your diet as well.
Is there a specific kind of yogurt that's good to eat?
Just again, we
Um,
recommend that low fat.
mhm,
And then it all depends on however you would prefer. For myself, I love a Greek yogurt. I love the tartness of it.
mhm,
I do tend to lean more towards the unflavored products just because I can go in and add my own flavoring to it.
mhm,
Sometimes, like the texture of like those added strawberries is not a fan for myself.
mhm.
However, it is a little bit higher in sugar, so we definitely recommend to add your own flavorings to it as well. And I actually just learned that you can add like different flavored like syrups to your yogurt as well to give it some flavor. So like I have a bunch of no sugar added coffee flavorings to give myself like a little flavoring to my coffee.
Mhm.
And I could use that in my yogurt as well to give it a little bit of flavor.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, something different to try.
Mm-hmm.
So as we mentioned before, physical activity, it's not shown on our My Play diagram, but it's very important to make sure that we are being physically active each and every day. For health reasons, physical activity could be moderate, vigorous, meaning that you just want to get your heart rate above normal resting level. And as you can see, kids need at least 60 minutes a day of physical activity. Luckily, it's easy for them to do that because they're all very rambunctious and have lots of energy that they need to burn. And for us adults, it's recommended that we at least get 30 minutes 5 times a week of that moderate or vigorous physical activity. And there's so many different types of physical activity. We will cover that in later one of our later lessons. But one of the best things that I recommend is just walking. Walking is a great form of exercise for anyone. We all do it each and every day, taking the time out for it. Swimming, even mowing the lawn and doing household chores could be a moderate or vigorous activity as well. So I always recommend trying to monitor your own heart rate, seeing what could be more moderate and more vigorous for yourself.
Yeah, I never thought of housework as exercise.
Yes, one thing that I like to do in order to fill my dishwasher after having dinner, I'll try to do like a squat in order to place like something on like the bottom row or something to get a
Hmm.
little physical activity in there, make myself feel a little bit better after eating. Ooh, I see May Woodley's comment. You like putting yogurt in smoothies. Yes, that is a fantastic way to incorporate some dairy into your morning breakfast, your smoothie. However, we're actually going to be moving forward into, yes, 30 minutes is definitely something that you can do. And it's not something that has to be continuous either. You could do 10 minutes 3 times of a day in order to get that physical activity mark. But we're actually going to be doing a little activity with everyone. So we're going to practice building a healthier plate together. So let's all keep in mind of our My Plate. We have our fruits,
Hmm.
vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. So to start, let's say that we're making a chicken salad sandwich. In order to make it healthier, we're actually going to use some plain yogurt as a dressing instead of some mayonnaise, which is really high in fat. We're going to be using some whole grain bread versus that refined grain to make sure that we're getting half of our grains are whole grains. We're also going to be using some grilled chicken with our chicken salad sandwich. Now, can anyone tell me what portions of my plate are missing?
Everybody out there in Facebook, what's missing? Hmm. I feel like I should put the Jeopardy music on.
But
Okay.
there we go, May. You are correct. We are missing some veggies. We are missing another portion of our My Plate as well. Now, I want to
Mhm.
get back to the one comment that I made a little earlier about replacing our mayonnaise with some plain yogurt instead. It's definitely a different type of flavoring. It's also a great substitute for sour cream as well, depending on what yogurt you're using. But
Mhm.
it definitely helps mix in everything a little better. And like I mentioned before, it helps lower that fat content as well. So
I never thought of using that instead
yeah,
of and it still has that kind of like twangy.
hmm,
Hmm. Yeah,
exactly. It's very
mayonnaise is
delicious.
my
I
favorite.
recommend giving it a try. And whenever I recommend to try something, I say to at least try it at least 2 different ways. You might not like it that first way, so trying it another way was a great way to see if your palate actually would like it. And the
Hmm.
same goes with incorporating those whole grains into your diet. It's definitely a switch. The textures are a little different with your brown rice in comparison to that refined green rice. But you start to actually realize that you like that texture a little better later. It's almost like not adding sugar to your coffee. It takes a while to get used to that bitterness flavor of the coffee, and
Hmm.
then you prefer your coffee without sugar after that. It just takes some time. But as you
Yeah,
can see,
I like I like the chewiness of the brown rice. And I know some people don't like that, but I
mhm,
know that
I
like
say that
for
it has like a
me,
little
I like
extra crunch to
hmm
it, which I like as well. But as we can see, we are actually missing our vegetables and our fruits category. So there's so many different things that you can try. You can have there's actually recipes where individuals have added grapes to their chicken salad recipe to give it like a little sweetness to it. You can even add some celery to it as well to give it some crunch. But there's so many different options that you can try. I've even heard of people adding apples to chicken salad as well. But what you here we go. Give it a try, and I promise you won't regret it.
mm,
We do have another activity for you guys. It's going to be exactly the same. And yes, you can add herbs to that yogurt to give it a different flavor as well. So a little bit of Italian seasoning could go a long way. So we kind of reviewed like lunch. Now let's think a little bit about breakfast. Let's make some oatmeal. So as you
mhm.
can see, we have some low-fat milk in the corner for our dairy category. We have some mixed berries that we can add to our oatmeal, which is a great source of a whole grain. And we're missing our protein section. Now, can anyone name a protein that they think would go well with oatmeal in the morning?
Protein. Um, I can think of something.
Now, remember, we can always think of our animal, our land and sea based proteins, but also to not forget our plant based proteins.
Mm. I'm going to be adding one of our powerful leaders that is from Mercer County, Trenton, and she's going to be joining us on screen with us. So we're just going to say a quick hi, Samaje. Oh, we can't hear you. You're muted. You got to unmute.
Hi guys.
Thanks for joining us tonight. So I know that some of the look, Miss Elise said eggs. That's a protein.
Yes.
We could
Eggs
add.
are a great source of
I
protein.
would add. I know what I would add. I would add nuts.
Nuts, yes, give it a nice little crunch. Maybe some
Yep.
almonds,
Yep.
maybe some peanut butter. As you can see here, just a few different examples that I had was like a grilled chicken leg or even some beans, but some almonds, some nuts. They remember they are a great source of protein, so you can add those definitely into there. Other different options could be walnuts, sunflower seeds, whatever you have in hand, even almond. Instead of peanut butter, almond butter, sunflower butter, if you do face any tree nut allergies, so many different sources as well. And then lastly, we're also missing that vegetable category. Can anyone think of any vegetables that they would like to add um, to the breakfast?
Vegetables. Anybody got some veggies that they like with their breakfast? Would you like some, Ajay? What vegetable would you eat with your breakfast?
Um, if I had to choose a vegetable, I guess it would be like the corn.
Corn.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. I know that Erica, I'm sorry, it was Miss Elise. She added that she would do some eggs in the morning. I love
Mm-hmm.
adding some vegetables to my eggs, making like an omelet with it, giving it a bit more flavor. So many different things you can try. But
Mm-hmm.
remember, avocado. So remember, avocado is actually a fruit. It has that seed on the inside, making it a fruit.
So that's our we have our PEP intern with us, so she's definitely participating in the background. So see, she said she forgot.
Not a worries at
It's
all.
no worries.
Some spinach, yes, May. Going again with excuse me. And Stephanie said spinach and avocado. You can add spinach to your eggs. You can have it on the side. So many different types of vegetables that you can have. But remember, it is not a requirement to eat all of my plate at once. You can incorporate it into a snack as well. So we're like carrots. Yes, they're a great snack. They're a great crunch. I love having them. You can have them as a mid-morning snack, and you have completed your one meal for your my plate within that morning,
Mhm.
and you'll be all set. Alrighty, now for a somewhat more of an unhealthy meal. I know this may look appetizing to some of our friends out there. I know it looks appetizing to myself. However, we're going to try and make it just a little healthier for all of us. Let's start off with our french fries and our fried chicken. Now remember, we want to try to decrease the amount of any fried foods that we are having just because of the high fat quality that could be found in those products. I know I skipped ahead onto our next slide, but does anyone have any swaps or recommendations that they would like to make? And one thing that I forgot to mention, I forgot to go over this unhealthy meal. So what we have for our fruits is some gummy snacks. We have a refined grain roll for our greens and a milkshake for our dairy category.
Hmm.
Now I can never distinguish if this is a vanilla milkshake or a chocolate shake with like very little chocolate syrup in it.
Yeah, it looks like a frosty melted.
Yes.
Yeah, so you gave me the tip last week for the gummies, right?
Mhm.
So I'm a gummy person. So I would substitute that with the dried fruit now.
Dried fruit, yes.
Yeah.
Some dried fruit definitely has like the texture of like a gummy.
Mhm.
Celery instead of fries, yes, that is a
Yeah.
great recommendation. A multi-grain waffle, we want to definitely make that healthier choice. We want to try to incorporate more of those whole grains into our diet. Some other easier options for our fries and our chicken. One of the easiest switches that we can make is
Baked.
instead of fried chicken, we can do some grilled chicken.
Mhm. Or
And
baked,
if
right? How about baked?
you could also do baked as well,
Hmm.
air fried, um, whichever option works best for you. And if you're just thinking about like if you're out at a restaurant, one easy swap that you can make for those french fries is a side salad instead. Now, to me, it's looking pretty good. This is kind of looking like what my lunch was today. I did have some grilled chicken and a salad on the side. Now, the next two sections that we have, and I know we kind of went over it just a little bit beforehand, was our greens and our dairy. What what are some different options that we can do, or what are some swaps that we can make for that refined grain bread and that milkshake?
What would you go with? For the bread, I would go with like the multigrain
A
whole
multi-grain or a
grain.
whole grain roll instead.
Hmm.
That's one of the easiest swaps that we can make. For myself, I even like having rice or quinoa
Mm.
as a side. Makes it nice and delicious.
How about for that drink? Anybody out there in Facebook? Hmm.
Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a drink as well. It can be another dairy as well.
It could be a smoothie.
Ooh, we can make a smoothie with some yogurt. Yes, so we can add some cheese on top of our salad. That is a great option. So we kind of touch base on a little bit of all of our examples that we have. We have some brown rice, some whole grain pasta, and even that whole grain bread. We mentioned some cheese. We mentioned a little bit of yogurt. We can add that to a smoothie. And last, we can add a glass of milk to this meal as well. So for the Water. Water is always a great option for another beverage. Elise, you are accurate.
Mhm.
So, for the sake of the presentation, as you can see, we went with that whole grain roll and that side, the nice glass of milk. Um, Now, the only thing that is left is our fruits.
Hmm.
Um, I know I just gave away the answer yet again, but can anyone make any suggestions for any other type of fruit that they would like to incorporate with this meal?
How about grapes?
Grapes, a fantastic option.
Mhm.
Nice and crunchy. What I like to do sometimes when I'm having like that craving for ice cream, I actually like to put my grapes in the freezer and they give it like that nice little crunch, different texture. Apple slices, delicious. Yes, we can always go with that whole fruit.
Hmm. Watermelon.
Watermelon, yes. We could also even do a fruit cocktail. We can do one that was canned or pre-made already for us, just making sure that we're trying it with that 100% water or no sugar added. But always to keep in mind that we can have any of our fruits and vegetables the whole form, which is always best for us. It has all those nutrients, minerals, and vitamins, dried, canned, or even frozen. Yes, strawberries sound delicious as well. I even, especially during the summer, I like to throw some strawberries into my salad. It gives it like a nice little flavor. And, ooh, and even avocado in the salad. That sounds amazing too. It
Mhm.
gives it like a nice little flavor with the strawberries, or even fresh orange slices into the salad as well. That nice citrusy flavor and eliminating that salad dressing that you can add to it. So, friends, we just made a one of the unhealthiest meals, one of the healthiest meals by just making a few different swaps. And as you can see, it's pretty basic and easy. We just have to think a little hard and make that application and make that switch for all of us to have a healthier lifestyle. Does anyone have any questions before we move into the final phases of our presentation?
Hmm. Let's see, raisins. Um, how much again was it? As far as the portion size of the rice, I know we're gonna say quinoa or brown rice.
It's recommended, give me one second. It is recommended that we have at least 6 ounces every day. So again, we can do that in the we can start to incorporate that in the morning with our breakfast, with that oatmeal,
Mhm.
cereal, many different ways. I always love to incorporate a whole grain into my breakfast, just because like I get up pretty early, and whole grains, because of the fiber, help us feel full longer. So
Mhm.
I'm not going to be as hungry. I will probably eat a mid-morning snack, but I'm not going to be as hungry as I would be if I didn't eat that whole grain. And we will touch base on our whole grains and our fiber in one of our upcoming lessons as well.
So tell me, can you eat too much vegetables? Is that possible?
It is possible. I do not know when that is possible. I definitely recommend to not eat too many fruits, definitely because they're high in that natural sugar. And for all of our friends who are out there who do have diabetes, definitely speaking to your physician in regards to how much we should be eating each and every day, just to make sure that we're getting that nutritional value that we should be every day. And the best person to always talk to is your physician. Now, I know I made some recommendations as well about some different swaps. It's not it. I don't necessarily mean that it should be swapped all the time. I definitely recommend to enjoy what you like every once in a while. It's to make moderate changes to your lifestyle.
Hmm. Yeah, that's can be sometimes be hard, especially in some communities that don't have access to that many fruits and vegetables.
Yes. And living in New Jersey, we are the Garden State, so it's wonderful that we do offer many different services as well at farmers markets to receive those fresh fruits and vegetables.
And
Alrighty.
we have community champions like Miss Elise who comes out to her community and shares her fruits and veggies in East Orange. So shout
That's
out.
wonderful. Thank you, Miss Elise, for volunteering. So since I have not seen any questions popping up, we'll move on to our next portion. And as you guys already know, I love to share a recipe with you for each and every day. And today's recipe kind of gives us that my plate for us. We're going to be making a bean and tuna salad. So some of the ingredients will include 2 cups of great northern beans, which is great for our protein section, chopped onion, which is our vegetable section, tomatoes, which is our fruit, a can of tuna packed in water and drained, again, great source for our protein, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, a tablespoon of lemon juice, and a minced garlic clove, and some salt and pepper to taste. And what you guys can do is you can actually make a sandwich with this bean and tuna salad. So you can utilize some 2 slices of whole grain bread to make a sandwich, and then have it accompanied by a wonderful glass of milk. Erica, I did send out that recipe link if we would like to go ahead and share that with our friends virtually. And then we also have that recipe video to show you guys how to make. And as you can see, that recipe is super easy to make and very delicious. I've made it for lunch a few times. If you're not a fan of canned tuna, you can also do canned chicken or any other type of protein as well, or not even incorporating that animal protein in there. Just making the bean salad by itself is delicious as well. Alrighty. And one of our last slides, just to reiterate all the things that we've learned today with our portion sizes. For more information on My Plate, you can visit choosemyplate.gov. For more resources and information, you can also visit our JSY website as well at jsyfruitsveggies.org. And to make sure that we're always staying safe and healthy. Just again, to reiterate that one last time, for our My Plate, it will consist of fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. And to not forget that physical activity, 2 cups of fruit, 2.5 cups of vegetables. Oh, I see a question has popped up. What should I do if I'm in a hurry and cannot get a well-balanced meal? Definitely trying to incorporate those snacks into your daily life and how you can incorporate different portions of My Plate in there. So we mentioned the fruits and vegetables are probably the easiest for your snacks, but you can even do some. I like to have sometimes pre-made wraps in which I do a tortilla, some peanut butter, and banana in there. And I keep those in my fridge and they last for a good couple of days. And if I need like a snack or something to just hold me over, I'm getting 3 of my Plate groups right there. And there's so many different ways that you can even incorporate that dairy as well. Like we mentioned before, adding some yogurt to your smoothies, adding cheese to salads, adding cheese to anything really. I'm a big cheese fanatic.
How I like your idea of doing the wrap with the banana and the peanut butter, but does the banana like turn brown?
The banana will turn a little brown, but because you're going to keep it in the fridge, it'll
Hmm.
hold a little better.
Okay.
And you can do it with different fruits as well. I've done it with strawberries before, apple slices. It's just a different way to incorporate more of those greens and proteins, which always seem to be the biggest struggle for all of us to incorporate into that My Plate. Does anyone else have any other questions? We love an interactive workshop.
Hmm. Anybody else have any questions?
And in one of our upcoming lessons as well on portion sizing, we are actually going to learn how we can measure out our portion sizes with our hand. So I definitely recommend that one. Is it to suggested to eat My Plate 5 times a day or less? It's definitely recommended to try and meet that minimum requirement of three. So that breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even trying to incorporate it into those two snacks whenever you decide to eat snacks during the day. It's a great option.
Mhm. Are there any other tips that you have as far as like having those snacks or pre-making those snacks um, that you usually do?
I love meal planning. Again, that's one of the other lessons that we're going to be doing as well. One thing that I love to do for my fruits and vegetables, especially, is whenever I go produce shopping, I come home, I clean my produce, and I'll try to slice it up for the week as to however I would need it, and
Hmm.
keeping that in the fridge so I can just go in, grab it as a snack, use it for dinner, lunch, whichever product I would use that produce for, and just having it readily available.
Okay.
So
Samaje, are there any snacks that you like to give to your kids?
They eat a lot of unhealthy snacks.
Oh
well, this is
no!
a great way to
So
try and incorporate some healthier snacks into
yeah,
our
this
trips.
presentation is very good because our house isn't as healthy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
No,
he
I'm
did
glad that you got
agree.
the information firsthand.
Yeah.
So, what do you think that you're gonna change now that you saw like the portions and?
We're definitely gonna take out the fruit snack.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of the sugar.
Mhm. Like Erica mentioned before, just a simple replacement would even be some dried fruit. Dried mango is
Mhm.
one of my favorite ones. It has that gummy texture to it, but it's healthier. It's much more healthier for us because there's no added sugar to it.
I'm most definitely gonna take that into consideration.
No problem. Glad to help. But as always, I want to say thank you to everyone for participating today. And I wanted to share with you guys again, thank you for those who completed the survey last week. We will be sharing another survey with you guys today. If Erica, if we could share out that link to our participants online, I'd greatly appreciate it. And for those of you whom are not on their phone currently, watching our segment, please utilize the QR code that you can see on screen to follow to the access of to the survey link. And again, your answers are anonymous. They really help us to improve our programming, including food access resources in the area. Yes, I'm very excited for our meal planning lesson as well. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and I can't think of what our next lesson will be next week.
It's gonna be a surprise.
Ooh. Oh, then I won't even say it.
It's a surprise. It's a surprise. So I thank you everyone that tuned in this evening to Parents Engaging Parents, and just know we're going to be back on next week on Wednesday at 6:30 again with the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Thank you so much for sponsoring this event for tonight. And thank you, Victoria, for sharing all your helpful information on healthy eating for our communities. We gotta throw those fruit snacks away, everybody, me included. For my birthday, I way overdid it. Like my daughter got me some gummy bears, and shout out to you, Victoria, my baby, because I love you, and I ate that whole big bag, and now I'm going to pay for it.
Again,
Now I'm paying for it. So we're gonna definitely begin to incorporate those healthy options within our households. Hopefully you will too. Gabby, can't wait for that meal planning as well. And thank you for tuning in. Definitely keep your eyes and ears open for our next community events that are coming up. They're going to be coming up in Trenton as well with our team out there, Samaja and Gabby Douglas. We are excited to be engaging with you guys and or ladies, I should say. We say guys so much in New Jersey. It's terrible. It's like you can't even get it out of your system.
it's like guys is like the y'all to
Yes,
live
the
in the
South.
Midwest.
I can't. But thank you, ladies, for your engagement. It's going to be a great thing to see you mobilize the community there in Mercer County. And again, thank you for tuning into Parents Engaging Parents, where we just continue to promote civic awareness and proactive community advocacy based on the interests of parents and communities. Please, if you can, hit the donate button, go to pepnj.org. We definitely need donations so that we can provide these backpacks and school supplies, provide these food giveaways for our communities all throughout New Jersey. I mean, from Patterson to Bridgeton. Like we're going from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Atlantic City, we love you. We're coming out there as well to see you guys soon. So thank you again, everybody, for tuning into Parents Engaging Parents, and have a great evening.
Bye, everyone. Have a nice evening.